For copper, the major ore present is copper pyrites, copper glance, and ruby copper. So out of them, again, the major ore is copper pyrites. So be careful what is asked. Second thing is, when the ore is asked, never write a formula for that, because if this is a pure substance, ore is not a pure substance. So when you write cuprous sulfide or cuprous oxide for this, becomes wrong. You have to write down these names only because they are included with the impurity. Now the first step is that since we are using copper pyrites, which are sulfide ores, all sulfide ores are always concentrated by a froth flotation process. Now the froth flotation process you have already done in class 10, which means that in our tank we take the ore plus pine oil, mix it together, and then blow some air inside this. When you blow inside this water, this container, the ore and the pine oil mix together and they form a froth. Froth means jar. So that froth starts floating on top of this and it can be skimmed from the top. And that's how the impurities are left below. The oil is lighter than water, so it starts floating. So by froth flotation, by floating the froth, we get the ore concentrated. Now that concentrated ore is now roasted. On roasting always makes the ore change into its oxide. And we change all ores into their oxide so that reduction can take place easily. So roasting is done. Iron pyrites change into sulfides. So remember, when you are learning the equations, you will change them into cuprous sulfide, ferrous sulfide here, and sulfur dioxide gas is formed. Similarly, now this cuprous sulfide will change into cuprous oxide, ferrous sulfide will change into ferrous oxide. So all these try and change finally into their oxides. Now this whole process is a very difficult process, and that is why it continues 2-3 times. So now from one place of roasting, it is put into a furnace of smelting. It is also a small blast furnace kind of a thing. So in that again, same reactions. I've written these two reactions again. So these two reactions again take place. Out of them, we want to remove FeO, which is mixed with sand to change into slag. So like in the metallurgy of iron, we make slag. Similarly here, slag is formed, which floats on the surface, can be removed. So slag is removed. Then Cu2O and Fes, which was here, again combine with each other to form cuprous sulfide. Now these two substances are the final substances which are formed, which will combine with themselves to form copper, which means that between the whole thing, we have not used any reducing agent here. It is called self-reduction. So self-reduction takes place and copper is formed. Now this copper is called blister copper. Blister copper because it looks like blisters on your hands, it's something like that. Because sulfur dioxide is bubbling out of that copper, so makes some blister on it, and the copper produced looks like blister, so it is called blister copper. Now after the copper has been formed, we will have to refine it. Now refining, you know how it takes place. In electrolysis, we've learned about refining. So final step will be refining. So to refine this copper, we will use impure copper at the anode, and this is the cathode. So it will be connected, and an electrolyte of copper is taken, which could be copper sulfate. So you know, from the anode, if I take the rod made up of copper in electrorefining, this rod will start dissolving inside this solution, and from this solution, deposition will start taking place at the cathode. So from the anode, copper minus 2 electrons makes it copper 2 plus ions, which come here. And from the electrolyte, copper 2 plus ions gain 2 electrons and become copper. So basically this rod has not become pure. This has come into the solution, has got deposited onto this rod, onto the cathode. So cathode becomes the pure copper. So final step will be that pure copper is obtained on the cathode. So different steps you will write: concentration, roasting, smelting, bessemerization, and finally refining of copper.